Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the games that I'm most looking forward to or just looking forward to, one or the other, in 2025. I've been doing a bit of thoughts around my top 5 games of 2024, which I've not yet decided actually on how that list is going to look, but yeah, it's been one of those consideration bits, I suppose, as it stews away. And yeah, it got me thinking what games I'm looking forward to playing next year, and what might be, not to preempt anything, but what might be in the top 5 list next year if they live up to the hype or live up to the expectation, so to speak. And I figured I'd do a couple of companion videos alongside my 2024 top 5 games, basically, and one of them being, sort of looking ahead to next year, and then also looking at some of the stuff that's disappointing from this year. I have a few, so obviously need to go through and do those ones as well. These are in no particular order at all, by the way, and I would also strongly encourage you to put in anything I've missed that you maybe are looking forward to as well, because I'm always happy to go and check these things out for myself as well. So it turns out, looking at it, that next year's the start of next year, February next year, is going to be pretty busy for new releases. We have a fair few all bunched up really close together, and these are ones that I do want to play as well. So I've kind of already made a decision, but it's, yes, probably just worth noting, I suppose, that is going to happen next year. So we've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 coming out. I haven't yet actually finished the first one, so I probably need to either decide if I'm going to finish my playthrough of the first one before, or if I'm going to go and watch a YouTube video or videos with the ending of the story and that kind of thing. So, from the bit that I'm up to. So one way or the other, I need to do that prior to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 coming out. But it looks really good. It looks very akin to the first iteration of the game and the continuation of that particular story. And I really enjoyed my time in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and for whatever reason, it just sort of fell off the radar while I was playing it. And yeah, I really want to give it a good go as well, I think is probably one of the key aspects of that. And it's coming out, it actually says it's coming out right on the very early in February, according to Steam. Anyway, the 4th of February. I thought it was a little bit later than that. Well, okay, fair enough. And then a week and a half before that, we have Dynasty Warriors Origins. So I imagine that probably with Dynasty Warriors Origins, because I think that's the first one that comes out that's on my list, I will probably play that to start off with, and then come out to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and then probably go back in to play Dynasty Warriors Origins after the fact, I would have thought. But yeah, I mean, I've obviously played the demo on the channel, and I've played a lot of Dynasty Warriors games before, so kind of looking forward to seeing how it does. I must say, on reflection, I did find a lot of the new mechanics and things and all of the abilities a little bit overwhelming, both visually and through the menus, through activating and when to use and that kind of thing. The latter, I think, I will get as I play through. The former, I'm not really too sure about. It just seems a little bit all over the place with the the visuals and that and the mechanics and that kind of stuff. But still, I do really want to give it a go, and I feel as though it's a good. It's not revolution, is it? Evolutionary step for Dynasty Warriors. So yeah, that seems cool, and I always like to visit games that tell a version of the Three Kingdoms storyline as well. So it's pretty good, I would suggest, or should be pretty good anyway. And then later on in that month, we have Monster Hunter Wilds. I have never really got into a Monster Hunter game, despite the fact that I quite like the idea of them from an aesthetic point of view. Lots of big swords, big weaponries, big monsters, that kind of thing. And maybe it's because I've only really ever played them as a single player. I know that quite a few of the ones previously have been really anchored towards having that co-op multiplayer type thing. So I'm not sure if that will maybe be something I should try and pursue a little bit more from that point of view. but we'll see. But once again, the aesthetics seem really nice, and I didn't get to play it was a beta, I think, that was out, a closed beta for a little bit, but I didn't know about that and didn't put in for it or anything, so I've not had a chance to play any of it. It literally is just a couple of trailer videos and screenshots and that kind of thing. But yes, it looks pretty cool and something that I'm interested to play through. Then we have in March, which it doesn't say when in March, but I didn't realise till very recently, I got Killing Floor 3 that's come out. So, being a fan of the Killing Floor series, I will be wanting to play Killing Floor 3. I don't know whether that's also then one of those games I just kind of have to wait until later on in the year and may or may not get played. I suppose that's probably the thing I should have mentioned about Monster Hunter. I may not even play it at all. I think is probably, based on how I get on with other things as well. But yes, Killing Floor 3 looks like a reskin version of Killing Floor 2 for what I have seen, but that's fine. I'm willing to give it a go and see how it does, because I kind of quite like the Killing Floor games. So yeah, don't know what else there really is to say other than that about Killing Floor. And on this list anyway, I think there might be others, but I also have Crimson Desert as well, made by the Black Desert team, I think the MMO, that I haven't played at all. And that is a kind of, I guess, like similarly akin to Dragon's Dogma, Witcher, that kind of vibe that it seems to be going for, which, yeah, always happy to get involved in one of them. Quite in the depths of things with Dragon's Dogma 2 at the minute, so yeah, I imagine it'll be fairly similar to that, but it looks really good there is a gameplay trailer that they put up on YouTube. I think it's like 40 odd minutes long, I want to say. But yeah, go and have a look at that if you want to see what Crimson Desert's all about. It looks really good. And yeah, that doesn't have a release month, so who knows when that's coming out in 2025. Other than that, I have one or two much smaller games that may or may not, I guess, come out next year. So I'm not going to mention those. They're not any big hitters at the minute. And the other one being, I believe, unless I'm completely mistaken, that Skyblivion is also going to be coming out next year as well. And I kind of just want to check that that's the case, because if I'm wrong, it will be embarrassing. Yes, it does say that it is slated for 2025. So that's going to also be a huge game that's going to be coming out as well. I don't really know imagine playing through Oblivion again. That's going to be such a big task and a big thing to want to do. And then it bears, when I consider it in terms of my top games for the year, does Skyblivion, is Skyblivion allowed to be on that list? I feel as though with Fallout London, for example, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Was anyone expecting it to be on my top 5 games for this year? Hopefully not, based on the videos that I've put out. But yes, Fallout London could have been in my game of the year. That's kind of how I was treating it. And it is like a standalone game, just happens to be using the Fallout 4 engine, whereas Skyblivion is a remake of an older game inside a newer game's engine. So I suppose there's nothing new, or well, there are even it's not that there's nothing new. There is new stuff in there, but it's effectively an older game re-released, and I don't think I would do a re-release of a game inside, being eligible to make it onto that list. So that's a kind of weird one, but it is a game that I will absolutely want to play a lot of, assuming that it is in a good enough state to do so. And I think, with Fallout London coming out and being how it was, there's definitely no guarantee of that. And yes, if ambition made projects great, then then we'd have a lot more successful projects, because lots of ambitious things are not quite up to scratch. And that's what happened basically with Fallen London. But I'm not going to really talk about that, because that's going to be for a separate video, believe it or not. And they're the ones that I have. There's probably others that maybe you're aware of that are coming out later on in the year. I only really have a PC. I don't have a PS5 or anything currently. So if there is stuff that's just out for PS5, then, I won't see that. I think there's something actually that is so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out as well on Steam at the start of January. Don't know if I'm going to pick that up. I think I would rather invest my time in... I've watched a whole playthrough anyway, so I understand what happens in the game, but I feel like I'd rather go through and play games that I might actually enjoy. I think the only thing that got me through doing Remake this year was playing the original, modded, but the original Final Fantasy VII alongside it, which that was kind of my trade-off when I was doing those particular series, was to do it that way for that reason. I don't have that now, so yeah, probably won't be playing that. But yeah, do let me know if there's anything else on there that you would think, or that you're looking forward to, or that you think I might look forward to. That would be great. And yeah, just thinking about those games and thinking that I would expect that they would feature in the top 5 games of the year, although I have to say it's rare. Oh, Path of Exile 2 as well, very briefly at the end. Even though I know that's out now, but it's fully coming out in 6 months, and I won't have time to play it before the end of the year. So I'm sort of classing that as a next year game. I expect that, based on what I've seen so far, I expect that to be in the top 5 for next year. But I will say, generally, with a couple of notable exceptions, basically Baldur's Gate 3 is the one that comes to mind now. I don't ever feel as though I've known which game is going to win that game of the year a year ahead of time. I think it probably only was Baldur's Gate 3 because of how good it was, and knowing that basically in almost any year that it came out in, I mean, and apart from when we're going back really far in my life, way before the YouTube channel, it would win. So yeah, a pretty difficult one to call for next year. I'm not going to make any predictions. I would quite like it to be really any of those that I'd quite like it to be Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I guess if you held a gun to my head and said you have to pick one, and by that thing, that would be that, it would have kept me interested through the full length of the game, and the core mechanics were really good. It was a good, a big improvement on the first game, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's kind of where I sit for next year, and we will see. But it seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. I quite like the fact that there is lots to go at seemingly for next year. Obviously, half the ones I've mentioned will get delayed or be unfinished or be buggy or something anyway. So it's just part of the course, unfortunately, for the games industry. And there's still games from 2024 that I would really like to go and play. So I'm once again preempting future videos, but I haven't had a chance to play Black Myth, for example, one of the games that I did really want to play this year, but just didn't happen. I got too much into the PS2 once again. So, and there's I actually have a PS2 game on my desk that I really want to play as well, but that is never going to be eligible for my end of year game of the year video. So I'll have to find time at some point to at least get that video started, but of that particular game, and I don't know, £10 Steam voucher if you can guess what it is. The only clue you've got is it's a PS2 game, but yeah. So, any case, I will see you all later. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and do remember to comment with the game you're looking forward to, even if I mentioned it. Do let me know. Right, see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.